Hello and welcome to the first lesson of Module 16. We're going to take a look at lines of best fit today. You'll also hear me call them trend lines. So given data, and you will be given the data this time, you can create a scatter plot, find the equation for the trend line, analyze the slope of the line, the x and y intercepts, and the correlation coefficient. All right, so a scatter plot, you see an example here, shows the relationship between two variables. In this case, it's showing the data for the mean rise in sea level each year from 1993 to 2011. Okay. A trend line is a line that kind of shows what the data is doing. As it kind of gathers, in general, it's going uphill or it's got a positive relationship. The sea level is going up each year. Okay. We're going to use technology along with the data to find the equation of that line of best fit or trend line. We're going to use those interchangeably. We can use these lines to then answer some questions such as, will college be affordable? We can make predictions on how much college will be in the future based on data of current data or data in the past. In the board game Monopoly, does a property's distance from go correlate to its rent? Do teams that spend a lot of money win a lot? So if you're a baseball fan, you might recognize that the Dodgers spend a lot of money in the offseason. Does that correlate to a lot of wins? We'll see. Okay. Now, a couple of words that you need to understand: interpolation, and then the next one will be on the next slide. So interpolation is finding a value inside our set of data points. So you can see these data points here. The lowest value is about 12 degrees Celsius, and the highest value is about 25 degrees Celsius. If I say, what do you predict the temperature at 21 degrees Celsius, you can go up on the 21 degrees here on the x-axis and go up to the line, and you can guess or make an interpolation that it's about $480 for sales at that temperature. An extrapolation, though, is when we find a value outside our data set. So we could use that there. What happens when the temperature is 29 degrees? Does the line continue on forever? Okay. You got to be careful with extrapolation, though. Extrapolation can give misleading results because we are think of it as like uncharted territory. Okay. What about sales when it's at -5 degrees Celsius? Okay. Does the line continue forever in both directions? Something you got to pay attention to. Finding the line of best fit. So using a ruler, draw a line through the scatter plot. You're going to try to find 2 points on the line. Use the 2 points to calculate slope and y-intercept. This is how you would do it by hand. We're not going to do that. We're going to do it using technology. And then you're going to get an equation. And that equation represents the line. So in this case, the red line. And then we're going to use that line to interpolate, look for data inside the data points, or extrapolate what's going on beyond the data points. Can we make a guess? Okay. How close these points are to forming a straight line is expressed by a number called the correlation coefficient. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that as well. So a correlation coefficient is assumed to be, or a correlation is assumed to be linear. It follows a line. You have something here that shows a perfect positive correlation. One thing definitely leads to another. You see a correlation coefficient of 1. It's a positive correlation. This one, you can see it looks like it's kind of following a trend of going up. So it's going up. That's a positive correlation, and it's got a high positive correlation. 0.9 is a high positive correlation. This one kind of looks like it's going up. It's got a low positive correlation. A 0 correlation means there's no correlation at all. And you can also have negative correlations. You can see all those kind of pop up there. Now, what I want you to see is that the range of values for the correlation coefficient are between 1 and -1. 1 is a perfect positive correlation. -1 is a perfect negative correlation. 0 is no correlation. So the closer the correlation is to 0, the less correlation the two events have. The closer they are to 1 or -1, the stronger the correlation. Now, that's a terrible formula that you will not be using, but this is how you can calculate the correlation coefficient. It's more advanced than anything we're going to do. The formula is programmed into Microsoft Excel, which is what we're going to use today. Now, I would be pausing the video to get these things opened. When you got to the video, there was a link in the directions above the video that had something with an Excel document. You would open that Excel document. It's called Graphing Trend Lines. You want to enable editing. It may be in protected view. So if it is, you want to enable editing. If not, you can just jump right in. You're going to highlight the data. So you can see here, the data is in the table. I would include the titles. That can help you when you're making your graph. You're going to go to Insert. Again, if I'm going too fast, pause or rewind. Select Scatter Plot. So you see that right here. Select the first option. You want those dots there. Then go to click on Quick Layout and click on the 9th option. So kind of the bottom right corner before you get to the last row. That's going to give you a trend line, and you should get this. And it's going to give you a trend line here. And you can see y equals 6.122.7x minus 2161.1. R squared is 0.9989. That's what I'm going to focus on right now. So we're going to take a look at that a little closer. So this first part is the line of best fit. Notice it's in slope-intercept form. My slope is 6122.7, and my y-intercept is negative 2161.1. So the starting value is negative $2,161.10. That really doesn't make any sense in this problem. Give you a little context here. This is talking about the payout for the number of millions of followers you have on Twitter. Okay, so what this is saying, if your y-intercept is negative, is you have to pay $2,000 if you have no followers on Twitter. It doesn't really make much sense here. You're not going to pay anything to start a Twitter account and have no followers. Okay, so that's where you got to kind of look at it. Some of the times these numbers don't make sense in the context of the problem. Okay, the rate of change is $6,122.70 per million followers. So for every million followers you get, you will gain $6,122.70. Now, let's move on to the R squared part. R squared is the coefficient of determination. The square root of R squared gets the correlation coefficient. So if I take the square root of 0.9989, I will get 0.99944. Now that's really, really, really close to 1. That's a really good correlation coefficient. It's got a very positive correlation between the two things. As your followers goes up, your money goes up. And Twitter probably has a formula that actually pays exactly what it's showing. Okay. Based on a correlation coefficient of what we found, there's a very strong positive correlation between the number of followers and the amount of money made from tweets. Okay. All right. So on that document that you opened, we've done the first two. Okay. The first two steps. There's some questions there. This is what your homework is going to be for today. There's no math Excel. You're going to be answering these questions on multiple examples. Does there appear to be a positive or negative correlation between followers and millions? Well, there's a positive, right? The correlation coefficient was positive. Describe the relationship between the number of followers and millions and the tweet values. Do you think they could actually predict the tweet value if you know the number of followers? For every million followers you earn, $6,122.70 minus the $21.61 that you had to pay. Yes, this can be used to predict tweet values. Because the correlation coefficient is so close to 1, that means we can use it. It has a lot of confidence in our equation. Okay, that's what that's telling me. Use the equation on the graph in your calculator to predict the tweet value for someone who has 10 million followers. So 10 million followers would be 10 for X. So I'm going to put 10 in for X. When I type that in my calculator, I should get $59,065.90. Okay, this tweet value is that much. Now you try the rest of those examples. What you're going to do is you're going to submit that document. You're going to open it, save it when you're done, and submit that document on Canvas. Good luck.